Cancer. Healing Grasshopper here to do your yearly forecast for 2026, where we'll take a peek into what the year holds for us. So I'm going to be doing an 11 card spread that takes a look at the overall energetic part of the year. Um, as always, this reading is for your sun, moon, rising, and north node signs. And if you're particularly interested in your love life, you can have a look at your Venus signs as well. Um, this is a general reading, guys, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay? So, our first card is the energy you're carrying into the year. Um, oh, hold on. Gotta get my pendulum here. It's not reversed. We've got the Six of Wands. This is moving away from difficulty, from heartache, from toxicity, from the things that don't serve you. Um, so this is kind of a general energy that everyone is carrying into this year um, because of Pluto being in Capricorn for 20 years. Um, that ended in very late 2024. So 2025, Pluto was in Aquarius, and there was an energy of transition, right? So this is a 20-year cycle. So it's not like there's a switch flipped and the energy automatically changes for everyone. There's a gradual transition um, from the difficult energies that the Pluto and Capricorn created and the more supportive energies of Pluto and Aquarius. And everyone has seen the progression of this transition differently. And I mean everyone by each sign. Aries, for example, kind of felt the transition pretty much straight away. They're fire signs. That's the way their lives go. Things happen quickly in their lives. But and then of course the earth signs like me, I'm a Capricorn sun. We feel like we're still in Pluto and in Capricorn pretty much. It was especially rough for us. Anyway, what that means for you is um, you are still in the energy of evacuating yourself, for lack of a better term, from what you felt was a crisis. It wasn't a crisis, Cancer. It was a pile of karmic lessons for 20 years, pretty much. We are meant to grow from these things. So hopefully, um, these swords that she's carrying in this boat are all of her lessons that she has gained from the heartbreak that she went through. So your next card is the core theme of the year. Okay, that totally makes sense. Okay. So remember I was talking about King of Swords, by the way, for those of you who are just watching. I mean, just listening. Um, moving away from difficulty, right? And toxicity and the things that don't serve you. The theme for this year is cleanup, right? So you might be wondering, well, wasn't last year cleanup? Yeah, it was. Um, but last year was kind of like healing and gathering ourselves to do the cleanup. Um, kind of licking our wounds and mourning and that kind of thing. Mourning sounds dramatic, but by mourning I mean, um, licking our wounds. So this year, the King of Swords is very watchful. Um, he is very good at assessing his surroundings and the things that come to him. Um, really discerning whether those things are for, his good or not. And if it's not, he rids himself of it. So that's what you're doing. Um, you have done a lot of that through the years, but there's still a little bit of cleanup that you need to do. And the other thing that I mentioned too is that you've got to think of Pluto as kind of, especially in Capricorn, it's like a wrecking ball. Because all these years we try and accomplish something and it doesn't work. We feel like we're spinning our wheels for 20 years. And I also liken that to Pluto kicking down our sandcastle every time we're trying to build it, right? So, King of Swords represents you cleaning up the rubble afterward. You're sifting through things like, am I getting rid of this or am I keeping it? And I'm not just talking about material possessions, I'm talking about everything from your job to your personal relationships. And personal relationships are very important because sometimes we can have people in our lives for so long, we don't realize that they're toxic until we really wake up to it. So, all of that is contained in this theme. Look at this. Your next card is your strength this year, not reversed. Your strength is going to be moving through a portal, turning the page, entering your new chapter. So that is going to give you a surge of, once you really catch on to the fact in your perception and energetically, it is going to give you a boost of energy and hope and optimism, right? When but you have to perceive it first. If you're still, and I'm sure we'll see if this comes out in the rest of your reading, but your perception is going to be very important here. Um, and focusing on the future instead of dwelling on the past is going to be important because we did a lot of that last year, right? In 2025, I was talking about that transitionary period. A lot of that was reflecting on what the hell just happened to us, right? But it's time to look away from that and start rebuilding and moving through the portal, which is going to bring us into a new light, a new supportive energy. That is, I promise you, is going to be refreshing. It's all uphill from here or downhill. You know what I mean? Easier. Um, your next card is what your challenge is, or what is going to bring you the most growth in this year. And that is being selfish, Cancer. You guys are the nurturers. You're always giving, 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 right? The Seven of Swords is about, well, it's called the thief card, and he's stealing these swords away from this encampment to weaken his opponent, right? Which is some sounds like a somewhat of a harsh um, theme, but for you, this means you need to think more of for yourself. And a good example of that, of course, is the whole airplane thing where they say you should put the mask on, your mask on first before your children, right? This is what this is telling you, that it's okay to be selfish, not necessarily at the expense of others, because that's what this kind of suggests. Um, but it's like a caricature of something more positive that it's bringing into your life. It's okay to reach for that advantage for yourself, Cancer. Your next card is what wants to be released in your life. And here is the Eight of Swords, plain and simple: worry, negative self talk. This is all about the lies we tell ourselves. That's another thing, Cancer, and I doubt you and any of you are going to disagree with me. You guys love to worry. Um, but also, you had great reason to worry. It's not like, you're hypochondriacs or whatever. Like, you really did go through difficult energy that, gave you a complex and anxiety and pessimism and all of that. That was perfectly natural. Everyone was feeling that. But that residual energy is still has a hold on you. So it's like, okay, you can put that down now. You don't need to be that protective anymore. The sun is out. So your next card is what wants to emerge in your life. What wants to emerge in your life for Cancer? Not both of these. Either of these? No, that was a fumble. Okay. It's interesting. You have the Five of Pentacles. Hold on. So the Out in the Cold card um, is also an illusion. Um, these two placements are very much related to each other. What wants to be released, what wants to emerge. Um, so in both, this is addressing your anxiety and your outlook. So what this is saying is you need to change your outlook and look at the things available to you, the resources available to you. And look at, I just saw on the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords, the worry card. You got a lot of worry here, Cancer. I'm going to really enjoy seeing um, you guys blossom and perk up this year. Because you guys are like steeped in worry. So, anyway, what's emerging? Finding your way to resources and things that will support you. That if you're thinking like this, you won't be able to see, right? Because these two are outside of a church. This is sanctuary they're passing, but they have no idea because they're not paying attention. So again, and we talked about the same thing up here in changing your perception and seeing that there is help available to you, that you are not alone, that you haven't been forgotten in some deep, dark dungeon. You know, you're okay. And it's been very dark for a while, but the sun is coming up, that kind of thing. So the next card is emotion. Eight of Cups for shizzle. Not this one, right? We're not reverse. Eight of Cups, guys. Those of you who know me and have been following me know that this is my favorite card. I love this card. This is the Be Your Own Hero card in my readings. I love this story of this guy walking away from these eight upright cups um, that he knows doesn't serve him, right? And I knew there was more of this coming because there's this energy here in the beginning that we were talking about. Here's more of it. And I even mentioned relationships and how you're probably going to need to clean out relationships uh, and not just material possessions, right? That's always good to physically clean house, but you know, our purpose in life is bigger than that. You know that. Anyway, um, he has walked off from these cups that did serve him some purpose, but he knows that it's not enough. And there's no mistake here um, that these cups are stacked this way. You know, they could be stacked more symmetrically, but they're not. There's a hole missing here. And in that hole, this guy is walking away from it, right? He knows there is something missing. There is something more for him out there. So this is about not being fulfilled, not getting what you deserve, not receiving reciprocation from uh, others in relationships. You are Cancer, like I said, givers, 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 and you have a lot of takers. And it's something that you're going to need to wake up and realize. And again, I said that in the beginning of the reading, right? And that's happened in my own life through the years. It started in like my mid to late 20s when I woke up and really started to realize that I deserved better than some of the relationships that I was in. And not just romantic, I'm talking platonic. And I had rid myself of my first platonic relationship. And that was a relationship that I had had since pre adolescence. We were friends. And I was like, wait a minute, you're toxic. I don't want you in my life anymore. Right. But it didn't end there. It was like, and that was a karmic lesson, an early karmic lesson. And then that karmic lesson morphed and progressed in other relationships. And here you are, and I'm not the only one. You're doing this now, too. And actually, to tell you the truth, I just went through this same thing very early in a new relationship, platonic again, like 3 months ago. um, where it was in the first 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of knowing the person, I was like, you know what, this is not for me. It's too many red flags. Anyway, I say all that to say, um, and I forgot to mention uh, the fact that I have also gotten rid of staples in my life, people that I would never have imagined to remove from my life, like family members and that kind of thing. So I'm getting the feeling here that um, you are you may be walking away from some toxic romantic relationships. There's no doubt. Um, but here's the thing that romantic relationships are I always say are almost easier to close out than the platonic ones. Because, no matter how close you are with and how long you've been with this person romantically, it's what you that's what you do when it doesn't work romantically. It's painful and all that, yeah, of course. But divorce is there. We know that it's an option. But platonic relationships, we don't quite see it that way. Like we have friends. It doesn't occur to us oftentimes, especially if we've had the friend for a long time, to end it. Like there's no official process to releasing a friend, you know, if I'm making sense. So there are some of your relationships, Cancer, that you are going to wake up to. Like, oh, wait a minute. You don't belong here. You got to go. So our next card is um, career and material path. Very nice. This is like the ultimate career card, the Three of Pentacles. So there's a craftsman here, a master craftsman who is uh, being approached by two patrons who want to commission him for a project, right? And the way the picture here is composed is important. He's standing above these two, which has meaning. You know, they're looking up at him. It represents esteem and respect. So, this is talking about what you will be gaining in this year, which is respect and people recognizing your value, which might be something that you have been frustrated that you haven't gotten in the past. But you may have to, depending on your individual uh, situations, you may need to leave a situation to gain this stuff. right? Because you do have the 8 cups here for emotion, but you know, of course, there are feelings baked into career. There's feelings baked into everything, you know. If people at your current job are not making you feel respected, then it's time for you to bounce, right? But you've got the 8 of cups under the King of Swords here. It's going to come to you. This is going to be less of a conundrum for you in this year. It's like the wool is going to be pulled off of your eyes, and you're going to realize, oh, I see. Yeah, things are never going to change. I need to find something else. Or um, there may be something where um, things are positioned in your job for you to get a raise. Or in your business, if you're self employed, um, to take on some new clients, that kind of thing. Okay? So your next card is spiritual guidance and higher wisdom, which is justice. Lovely. So justice is all about balance in your life. And karma always comes into play with the justice card. And the justice card in my readings always involves the angel Raguel. He is the angel of justice. Um, so this is guiding you towards balance. Again, ridding yourself of toxicity. But the way you rid yourself of the toxicity is going to be important. Ridding yourself of the toxicity with grace and forgiveness is going to bring you good karma. But if you're going to rid yourself of the toxicity with anger and conflict and revenge and spitefulness, then that's not going to work out for you, Cancer. In letting your emotions run away from you so much that you can't think straight. And, like a Karen, I'm not saying that you're a Karen, but the extreme example is Karen. We observe these people and we're like, these people don't have any control at all over their emotions, you know. So that's what I'm talking about. Mastery over our emotions and realizing that a situation doesn't serve us, we may have been wronged, but we're going to give that up to the universe and let the universe sort that out and let the universe correct that imbalance. All you need to do is remove yourself from the situation, and Raguel will do the rest. Um, your last card, well, second to last card, is your leg of the journey in your life purpose this year. Ace of Wands. So, there is never or should never be a straight answer with life purpose question when it comes to a reader. and a querent. I can never, as a reader, tell you what your life purpose is. I can try and lead you in the right direction, but that's not my job. And that's not something that you can ask and really find an answer to because your life purpose is not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I use the example of the Wizard of Oz all the time with life purpose. Glinda the Good Witch could have told Dorothy when she first met her to click her heels and go home. But she didn't. She sent her on a journey. The journey is important. Okay, so this is the leg of the journey. And in this leg of the journey is Spirit handing you a new game plan. Wands are action, and this wand is held by Spirit. Spirit handing you a wand, handing you a course of action. Because when you're in this state, this is a passive state in this boat. She is waiting to be moved into a new energy. But what happens when she gets out of the boat? What does she do? Right? So this is you after you get out of that boat, where spirit's like, okay, this is the way to go. Okay? Um, the next card is your outcome. What the whole purpose of this year is and where you will be towards the ends. Mhm. Okay. So the Seven of Wands is very much corresponding with this energy here of releasing the worry and the overwhelm, right? The Seven of Wands is very much an energy of managing tasks and adversity um, with confidence, right? Because there's a lot he's fending off here and he's addressing, but this isn't really a struggle for him. He has the upper hand and he knows it too, right? So, see, this is what you're entering the year with, these swords, and you're going to end with wands. Action, confident action. This is lack of confidence, worry, pain, dejection, and confidence in action. So, this is the year for you, Cancer, that you are going to, the ground is going to feel more solid under your feet. You know? So, yeah. Oh, I was going to say that's the reading, but it's not the reading. We are going to do an advice card. This tray, this tray. Higher self. Let's see. Sacred destiny. Spirit loves the sacred destiny deck. Sacred destiny. I would share the cards that I use if I can. Some of them I haven't kept the packaging, so I can't tell you, but a lot of them I will always share if I can. Okay, so these are too big for me to shuffle, so bear with me. Wait, did I miss something here? Yeah, I did miss something. Okay, we're getting there. This one. Okay. Thriving. You see? Wow. I have tingling in the back of my neck, the back of my head. So this is totally echoing what I just said. This is like surviving, thriving. Okay? Cancer, chin up and look forward to a brighter future. It's here. Believe it. Um, I hope this has brought you hope, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, thank you for staying this long, and I hope that you decide to stay. Please like and subscribe. This is a growing channel. Um, I just got to 1,000 subscribers on December 29th, so yay, I'm very happy about that. Um, so, but onward and upward. Let's keep this momentum going. So, even if you think you're subscribed, please have a look. You might be surprised to find that you're not subscribed, so go ahead and click. And certainly don't forget to hit that notification bell because there are a whole lot of videos coming. I was away this past December. There wasn't much that I posted. I didn't do weeklies. I think I did a monthly, but I wasn't around for pretty much all of December. I had things to do. I took a month off, but I am back for December. So you have yearly, monthly, weekly, bonus, um, astrological readings, timeless if I have time. There's a lot coming. So look out for it. Um, if you're really inclined to helping me grow this channel, um, the other perfectly free thing you can do for me is have a look at the playlist. I've made a bunch of them for you. There is a cancer playlist and many others. Choose one. Set it on autoplay and have it on as background noise while you're going about your daily tasks. Um, and when you're winding down in bed and even sleeping, because watch hours are everything to help a channel grow. So I thank you in advance. I love you, Cancer. Be kinder to yourself because you deserve it. Love, light, and many blessings.